taking pictures.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News.
Our first guest on today's show is a former House of Representatives member and woman leader of the All Progressives Congress in Lagos. She has served as chairman of the Committee on Public Procurement and also a member of a number of committees in the House of Reps, banking, currency, and the diaspora, and the Niger Delta, and issues about women in parliament. She's here to discuss this current status and challenges that Nigerian women face in politics, and the efforts being made towards achieving increased female political participation. She is Jumoke Okoya Thomas. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. I'm so excited to have you on the show. You're actually the first woman politician that I am interviewing so far.
That's great.
Welcome on the morning show.
Thank you very much.
Well, I mean, you've been in politics for quite a while now. 3 consecutive times in the House of Reps, now a woman leader of the APC in Lagos State. What has been your experience?
Well, I would say it's not been easy. But what I'm looking at is paving way, for other women in Nigeria, especially the younger generation, because they are going to get us to that level. And I'll look back, I'll sit back and be thanking God for the legacy I've left. As it is, a lot of women, let me say from the past, there's no education whatsoever, for women to come into politics. So they're so worried that men are going to muscle them out of the game. So we got to start, number one, our leader in Lagos State. You know him, he's gender sensitive. That is my leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So he started by giving us forms free because the funding alone is a challenge for women. And that seemed to, scare them out of the game. So he will give us forms free of charge. And that was what gave me, and of course, Honorable Abike Dabiri, the opportunity of pushing ourselves out to go and face the task before us of helping other women grow. I will say to you that it's not all been beds of roses, but we thank God for the level where we have put Nigerian women politically. We have been a source of hope and encouragement to a lot of Nigerian women that thought it might not be possible for them to get there. With a lot of advocacy going on right now. You can see NGOs and you can see conferences, seminars going on across Nigeria presently, so that people they will be encouraged, women in Nigeria will be encouraged to go out there and try. The other day, I saw on CNN that a lot of women are out there too because of the election coming on. And CNN actually said, well, they are all out there, but they don't know how many of them will be able to get it. If you do not try, you won't know whether you're going to win or lose. Okay. So I'm using this opportunity to encourage Nigerian women. You can get it done. Let's go out there. And we have formidable young girls coming up. All of them are educated, and they are interested in this. We can't push them back. I am seizing this opportunity to tell them to come out. Go and try your luck. And we are here to back you up.
But is funding the only problem? I mean, I understand that there are some structural issues with Nigerian politics. Meetings are held late at night. Some husbands will never allow their wives to go into politics. And then, of course, there's so much violence. Are those also serious concerns?
Let me say, with some husbands, I also know a lot of married women out there doing politics. Their husbands are supporting them because they know we cannot keep on with what we have presently in Nigeria. Nigeria has to move forward. And they say without head, there is no neck. You cannot do politics in Nigeria without involving Nigerian women.
Yes. So what do you think can be done to ensure increased participation in women in politics?
Just like I said earlier, advocacy. And when they're looking at us, people like us, we're standing in there, holding forth for them, so that the younger ones can come out. We are not dead, we are still alive, putting things in place. I mean, in National Assembly, they can see the work that Honorable Abike Dabiri did, and that I did, with a lot of motions and bills to change patterns of things in this country.
Yes.
So if we all sit back and we're hiding in our corners, it can be done.
But you know, this advocacy has been on for long.
Yes.
I mean, many years ago, I helped to draft a document for women in Nigeria.
Correct.
On women in politics. And in spite of that, in 1999, total representation of women in Nigerian politics was 3%. In 2003, it moved on to 4%. In 2007, we got up to 7%. Even today, if you look around, the statistics still looks very bad.
It's even dropping.
There has been no female governor in Nigeria. Veggie Etiaba, who was the only female governor, got there because the governor was impeached, and she acted only for a while. So that's why our question is important. What can be done? Do you believe in the idea of quota or proportional representation or affirmative action, as we have in South Africa and other parts of Africa?
I guess we just have to talk to our leaders, of which I am particularly doing. The other day, I was with my leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I discussed this with him, and honestly, his response was satisfying. That we are going to come en masse so that they can give us our little space. We're not even asking for too much. There's a reason for the Beijing conference. That's affirmative action. Please let us have our space. We don't have to fight anybody. That is what I went to discuss with him. He's promised that in Lagos State, he will ensure that Nigerian women have the opportunity.
You keep referring to Asiwaju Tinubu.
Yes.
Is this about an individual?
It's a national issue. He's a national leader.
Yeah, but you know, but you keep mentioning him.
He's
Should it not be?
He's a political figure in Nigeria to be reckoned with. That's why I keep mentioning his name.
No, shouldn't this be about the political party itself?
Yes.
And also
because
legislation.
We are the party in the system now. We are the party, the main party in this country now. And we set examples. That is why I'm mentioning his name. And we all know the much he has done. Let me say, I'm also going to mention the wife very soon.
Okay.
Because we know what she's doing in this country. You can see quarterly she comes home and she gives us a report of what she's doing.
No, but you don't get my argument. My argument is that when it is reduced to an individual,
yes,
you know, to the godfather, you know, you are more or less saying Asiwaju Tinubu is your godfather. And some other person will say, no, it's not about godfathers. It's about the system. It's about changing the ideological orientation of Nigerian politics.
I said to you in the past about the advocacy we are going through in Nigeria, which is encouraging women to come out. Do you understand? And even in our party, APC, I'm going to refer to my party because, let me tell you, when I was in National Assembly, we were in the opposition. And I saw what they were doing in the National Assembly. When they were doing some stuff, we stayed away. But when we needed to fight for issues, concrete issues, we were always on the ground, giving our own ideas of how things should be. So we never spoke about parties. We spoke about Nigerians. We spoke about Nigeria as a country on the floor of the House. But today, I am the women leader of APC in Lagos State. That's why I keep making reference to my leader.
Well, that again is an issue.
Yes.
Because if you look at it, many of our political parties, what they do is they make a woman the leader of women, and she leads the women's wing. And the women's wing is just put aside, you know, for the women to wear colorful clothes and organize dancing and singing. When it comes to serious decisions, you won't see them making a woman the chairman of the party or the secretary of the party.
You are talking about the grassroots. The grassroots.
No, generally. Even at the national level. I am also telling you, the people putting scarves, the people singing songs, you understand, is the grassroots. And they are also needed. But the next level of people are the people we are working on. You can't force people out of their homes, but we will do advocacy. We will do conferences. We will do all sorts of things to bring them out.
What are those your conferences targeted on? We are targeting those younger generation of women with confidence that are educated, that can sit, articulate points when they get to the floor of the House, when they represent us anywhere at all in governance. You can see there are a lot of women out there that are ministers. We've given them responsibility, and they are showing that they can perform. For the good ones. Currently, that's why there's only 13% of women in the Buhari
we are going to have more.
But we can't have that without talking to our women to build confidence in themselves and come out to work for Nigerian women. Except they come out, nobody will fish anybody out of their bedrooms.
Well, you know, we just had the visit of Prime Minister Theresa May of the
Fantastic.
UK. Angela Merkel, Chancellor Merkel of Germany is coming tomorrow. Now, as we move towards the 2019 elections, there are about 6 Nigerian women who are running for president, including the youngest amongst them, I think Atu Ejide is her name. You have Professor Fumilayo Davis. You have Professor Remi Shonaya. You have Elishama Ide, I think that's the name. You know, and one other person. Do you see a woman becoming president of Nigeria either in 2019 or anytime so soon?
We still have to work. Number one, we need to support ourselves. Nigerian women must support themselves. We need to show people that we can do things better than we were doing it before. Otherwise, they won't believe in us. And we have to use the media. That's what media is for. To let, for instance, some names you mentioned, you understand, you may know because you're a media person. We have not seen much of them. They also have to come out to let us know how we can support them. Today in Abuja, APC invited all female aspirants. Today, I should have gone, but for this, the reason of being here today, to support my women from Lagos State. They are all in Abuja because the wife of the president is encouraging them. Don't back off. Go and get it. You will get it because we must feel that 35% affirmative action. But I'm praying to God. I'm praying to God that the party leaders, whether you like it or not, that's the way things work here in Nigeria today, that our party leaders will please help us to get this job done. You can't do it without the men too. Yeah. They say, without the head, there is no neck.
Do you see this as a challenge? Because you just mentioned that women are not supporting each other. Is that one of your biggest challenges that women are facing in politics?
Oh, that had always, even in the US, because I lived there for a while, you will see women bickering against themselves. That's the way it is. But we can get things done better. American politics is over 100 years, and yet it's still going on. You know that. When Mrs. Clinton came out, you see what they did to her. If all the women had gathered together and supported her, she would today be the president of the United States of America. So we will also try to encourage women to start to think positively of what the women are doing. When men are doing their politics, they stand together.
Okay.
Well, you were in the House of Reps for a long time. You know, there are many male politicians who say the reason women should not be encouraged is because women are too cantankerous. And there were cases in that same National Assembly where, you know, either a woman was slapped or harassed, or on one occasion, one senator even threatened to put another senator in the family way and send her back to her husband.
It's a shame.
So why is that the case? You know, if you say women should go into politics, how do they deal with the attitude of Nigerian male politicians?
You know, when you are in the chambers, there's immunity, so men can intimidate. That's what we're talking about.
Underprivileged speech.
Exactly. They will intimidate you to get you out of that place, if possible, for no woman whatsoever. I remember a bill that I moved and was thrown away on breastfeeding. Some men were actually saying, hey, for my wife to start breastfeeding, they didn't understand what I was trying to get at. It's about the nutrition. About the nutrition we are trying to pass on to the newborn babies. Get them fed, you know, properly. That was what I was trying to pass on to them.
Well, what I recall is that, look, there is no way, even if that bill is passed into law, you can't enforce it. How do you enforce it? And maybe the men were protecting the interests of their wives and their own interests too.
For God's sake, I mean, we are talking about your child, that child must get good nutrients to be able to form properly up there. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we should start looking at the pros and cons of whatever we are doing, not, you know, to be negative and push everything out. For what you have said earlier, You see some men, they are very cantankerous. And they will even tell us, my wife cannot talk to me like that. And I remember that on a lot of occasions, when we are discussing issues, very salient issues on the floor of the house, particularly on women or to do with different parties, when we are on different party issues, you will see that a lot of men, they want to beat women up. They will tell you, you cannot say that. But you see, we walked through it. 12 years, no blemish. 12 years, nobody said anything against Abike or myself. She was only doing our job, and I was only doing my job.
Well, we
were never slapped. But we will put our feet on ground that this is what should be done.
Well, you say women should come into politics, but
yes.
And you say the First Lady is meeting with women today.
Yes.
But the President famously said the other day that his wife belongs to the kitchen and the other room.
Yes.
What's your reaction to that?
He was just picked up for negativity.
Okay.
He was probably just joking, and people just picked that part.
No, he was saying this at a press conference in Germany.
And I'm sure that she herself has been out there even since then. Since then, she's been out there working and advocating and helping women build. If we were with her about 3 weeks ago, if she was meant to be in the bedroom, she wouldn't be there talking to us 3 weeks ago. I saw her in the villa. You know, some things are just said, and you can't pick on everything. Of course, at the level of the president, I'm sure he didn't mean that. Let me just leave that as it is.
Well, we've seen indications that, although we can blame male politicians, we've seen indications that female politicians in Nigeria are also having thugs. They are also engaging in violence. And they also go about with a retinue of hired security men. What is responsible for this? Because when you see a woman carrying thugs up and down, engaging in physical combat in the name of politics.
You know, sometimes some things must be left unsaid. And that's what I'll call wisdom, of which my late father put so much in me. And on this particular issue, I know what you are referring to. And I will say that my leaders are on top of things, and there must be peace. My job is to bring women together in Nigeria, and particularly in Lagos State, not to divide them. That's where I'll leave that. When a case is in the courts, as you know in this country, you let that case be, and let the people judge.
What's your next move? 12 years in the House of Reps. Are you planning to go back to the National Assembly, or you want to test your hypothesis and run for governor in Lagos State?
The future is God that holds the future, not any human being.
No, but politicians always have ambition.
My father leads me. My father in heaven leads me. He orders my steps all the time. So I never say this is... Even the women leader thing, honestly, it was just a shock. I didn't know.
Yeah, we understand those positions were allocated by Asiwaju Tinubu.
It was not allocation. It was not allocation.
No, but he gave an instruction that persons who had occupied any position in the executive for about 2 terms will not run again. And that became an issue, led to factions in Lagos State APC. And then some of you were handpicked and put in those positions.
No, you know, party is different from party politics, of which I am there now. It's different from elective politics. People go for elections. You need to know the difference. People run for elections, and they will decide, you understand, by voting. The party is having direct primaries now. That is as many supporters as you want, or that you have at the grassroots, or however you want it. They will kill behind you that this is the leader we want. So if you don't have supporters, nobody will kill behind you. Don't look at your back and be asking, where are my delegates? That's not the issue this time around. These leaders sat all together, was it yesterday or the day before, to say that we are going for direct election. And that is what we are going to have. Asiwaju does not interfere, as you say. But Nigerians, as we are, we like to drop names so that we can get what we want.
Okay, that's a trend.
Yes, that's what they do. It's just unfair to start nailing a person without actually knowing the kind of person he is.
Okay. What do you think of the Buhari administration?
if I have to be honest with you, that man should go back. The next 4 years.
He should leave.
He should go back the next 4 years and put this country straight for us. That is my opinion.
But many Nigerians
hand it over to a younger generation. You understand? He will do that in the next 4 years, not now.
Wow.
Because he needs to clean up.
Okay.
It is shameful what we hear about what some of our leaders are doing. You can't continue to pack our money. No, it's not going to, no.
This has become a sing-song with members of the APC.
Not APC. I know they are moving in droves into this party because they can see accountability. You understand that is going on here. And openness. That is what we have. And that's why I said sometimes you need to dig deep into situations of different parties to really know. Not, they say word is cheap. You know, when you keep talking and you are lying about a lot of things, some of us will tell you as it is. My prayer is that that man will go back, you understand, as our president.
Is it a matter of prayer or votes?
The votes are also there.
That's one of your votes.
Look, why are these oppositions moving into a party if it's not a good party?
No, but a lot of persons have moved from APC to the other parties.
Not as much as the people coming in. Not as much. The chairman of PDP in Lagos State just moved into APC, the chairman of PDP. And they have been moving in droves because they know what their leaders are doing to them. Okay, so you can't pack my money and go and put it in one Swiss bank.
You're strongly
and the country
behind the Buhari administration, and you're supporting the Buhari administration.
Yes.
And you want him to become president.
Yes, yes. So that is if he's elected. You know, it's an election. We will also kill for us that are his supporters will kill behind him. For the people that don't want him, they can go and kill behind somebody else.
Okay, what are the things that you have seen lately with the administration that you think that he would even do better if he goes forward?
Except you are not looking very well. Look, the other people, the other states, I'm even surprised. Yes. Some of these things, you know, the...
Don't worry, Oji, I will lend you my glasses. So that you can see.
Wait. If you look clearly, you understand. The other day, the East, they said a couple of roads, they never saw its kind, under construction. Even though the National Assembly as it is, you understand, the leadership is frustrating the efforts of this government. Okay. Because some of the bills they ought to have been signed into law now, they're still holding on to it. They are not allowing it, frustrating his efforts. That is what we are seeing outside. Because sometimes people with ties don't see these things, but we are the ones on ground. We are seeing everything happening. So for the parts of the East that are under construction, there are a lot of that going on across the country. That is what the structure. Excuse me. A lot of... And it cannot be done in just 3 years. Okay. You need to give him time to perform or to finish his job. Anybody can be ill. We can't... You know, if you're ill, you can go on sabbatical for about 6 months, and then you come back to your job. He was ill, yes, and he came back stronger. So don't condemn him completely. Look at some of those things that he has done right. Don't tell me all those ministers under him are not doing anything. See what Fashola has been reduced to. That poor guy, always eating his files 24 hours just to make things work.
What's your take on vote buying? I mean, many of the by-elections that have been conducted under this administration, we've had cases of vote buying in Ondo, most recently in Ekiti. Okay, and now that vote buying has become the new normal under this administration, do you think the Buhari administration will be able to deliver a credible election in 2019?
Can I take you back to the last administration? Let me not mention names. The last administration. They pulled out all the money in the treasury just so that they can buy votes. That is not happening now.
You have evidence of that?
Oh, they pulled that. I was in National Assembly.
What happened?
I saw cases of money going around. We were in the opposition. We don't take nothing. You understand? You see money being shared. It's true. Just because you want to go and buy votes outside. It is reducing in this, under this present dispensation.
So the APC governors didn't share money?
I don't know about that.
You only know about the opposition?
No. I said I don't know about I didn't go to anywhere to see anybody sharing money. But I saw
and they were sharing money in the National Assembly. You didn't grab your own?
No.
Why
because
not?
I was in the opposition. They won't give you. Do you understand? Who doesn't need money? But they won't give opposition. And we never asked because we were busy exposing them. Ask Abike.
Well, the PDP people, they have a different opinion. But again, when you were in the National Assembly, you proposed a bill on the reform of prisons. What was the issue? What do you think is wrong with the prison system in Nigeria?
That was quite a while ago. That was my first assignment in the National Assembly. I was the chairperson, Nigerian prisons, which is present even still under another committee, committee on interiors. My job actually was to ensure that what we have is still happening, and I'm surprised because even then there was an amendment I did to the law on the fingerprinting because I realized we were using that stamp. You understand, for criminals, when they bring them in, they use stamp. And then there was this case of Ibori and whatsoever, and they were complaining. They didn't know which Ibori, which was what steered me into what I did. And I made sure I passed this law it wasn't a law, it was a policy that I supported. And I ensured that we did electronic fingerprinting, which I sat on the minister then. It was, I think, it was Ayu that was the minister then. And I sat on him that fingerprinting machine must work. And it was packaged and it started working. I don't know the level where they are now. And it started working, capturing electronically the fingerprints, that it became something that had to be used on even a national ID, connecting activities of a particular person. So if you are caught doing this, your information will be thrown on the national grid so that everybody will know at the end of the day that this one cannot be absorbed excuse me, into this job because he has been a criminal. That, the record was not there before. We went through and ensured that a lot of cases were taken care of because we saw maybe juvenile, people who were not meant to be in prison, people who only stole chicken. And we have a lot of people out there that stole billions. They are out there parading. You understand? I ensured that a lot of these people were released because we got lawyers to do free cases. Some of them came on pro bono, you understand? And a lot were, that was my first assignment in National Assembly. It was my first tenure in the National Assembly. Can't remember much of it anymore. Okay,
I mean, I know you've traveled a lot, you know, you've been everywhere. When you travel to these other parts of the world and you see those societies that function, and you come back to Nigeria, things don't seem to function. What do you think is wrong with Nigeria that our country doesn't seem to be functioning?
That's what I'm saying. When money is outside in some banks, outside the country, how can it function? All we need to do is to keep that money here. You understand? Build up our industries. Let there be light. You know, you will see even those juvenile cases, they will find things to do. There are a lot of unemployment that we should capture and make sure that a lot of younger generation of people coming out of schools, we get them engaged, get their mind engaged. That is what is causing it. So you understand? When we were coming this morning to your studio, the road, I said a lot of people are driving without understanding the ways of the road. Yeah. If you drive abroad, when you get to a certain level, you will stop automatically for another car to move. But it takes education. You don't give a driving license to someone who doesn't know what to even to do with it.
Okay, so are you part of any type of initiative with this educational reform? Because I know that that's very important for Nigeria. And,
yes.
So is there anything that you're doing with your background to actually bring up this educational reform?
You need to, what you don't know is that you need to be on a certain seat to be able to change things
Okay, so what about activism? Why don't you try to do that?
That is one of the reasons why I went back into active politics, to help Lagos women. Come out, we will now teach them, we will tell them what to do. They're going through training.
Okay.
What they are doing in Abuja this morning is going through training, which immediately I sent to all of our women, please go and see how it can, you know, change what your ideas, you understand, or add value to your ideas.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, interviewing you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm sure we'll invite you again to the morning show, and I hope you will oblige us.
I know you have a lot more to say. That's all from Jumoke Okoya Thomas. We'll take a short break now. When we return, cosmetologist Timi Oluwa Kingsley Oporum will be joining us to discuss the skincare industry in Nigeria. Don't go away.